Hello?
Hello, hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
All right. My goodness.
you.
Finally
And
working.
you can you see my chat head thing?
Yes, I can. By George, I think we got it.
Mm?
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Are we live?
Yes, we are. We finally got it, and I think that they can see you too. Hello, guys. Hey. Hello. How is everybody? How was your Christmas, Jackie?
It was good. I I thought I'd read you this little thing. It says, "Dear Mum, I love you all the time, Mum. I love you. You take good care of me better than anybody else. Love you so much. You are my world," from Alex.
Oh my goodness. How cute is that? How sweet.
Yeah, my dad's girlfriend wrote it out, but he told her the words.
Aw, that's adorable. That's so good. Hello, guys. Hello. How is everybody? So what's going on, man? I feel like I
Hey,
haven't been
Donna.
on in so I feel like I haven't been on in so long just because of the holiday and everything. It was so crazy.
Yeah. Christmas looked crazy at your house. There was so many presents.
Oh my goodness. I feel I'm so exhausted now. I don't know how everybody else is doing it, but I'm absolutely like it's like recovery time for me. I'm so excited that I'm so excited it's over.
Yeah. You were wrapping presents for a week prior.
Weeks, man. I've been doing this for weeks.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been so quiet on social media lately. Like what happened to Ryan, man? How's he doing? Have you heard anything? Has anybody heard
No.
anything from Ryan?
No.
I
I
feel
haven't
like it
heard a thing.
I feel like it's been so quiet on his part.
I
Like
think ever since that text message came out, we haven't heard one thing from him.
yeah, but you would think after the divorce or whatever, you would think he would say something. You know what I mean? I know, Susan. I'm sure he is. Well, Gypsy was at Ryan's house on Christmas Eve. I saw that. The bed did look like the bed that was at Ryan's house. What do you think, Jack? It does, right?
Yes. And I wouldn't put it past that dirty bitch either. But I don't know. I'm just saying.
I just feel like he should. I feel like he would have said something, like go live, do something.
Yeah. And not to mention, he literally was like, he was in his era, you know what I mean? He was doing videos against her and everything, and it was so funny. And now he's back to, you know,
I wonder if it's just because maybe he can't talk. I don't know what happened in the divorce, but you know what I mean. Like I wonder if it's because say no to clown said because Ryan is the daddy. Don't they still have to do a paternity test or
well,
no?
I thought that Louisiana law meant that that no matter what, he's the dad because he's the husband or whatever. But because she's already done a paternity test, do the court have to appoint one as well? I don't know.
I'm sure the court has to do their own. I would think so. But I know she didn't look
Yeah.
happy when she came out of that courthouse.
Yeah, probably because she had to, like, but all she did was prove that she had an affair, like you said.
I know.
How
Christy,
embarrassing.
she didn't look pregnant in the photos last night. Did you see those photos that Christy posted? Guys, what is
Yep.
happening to the baby bump? For real, what is happening?
Who knows how old those photos are that Christy posted? A lot of people do their Christmas photos a week before.
Yeah, but still, I mean, did you see her stomach? Like she's sitting the one time and there was no baby bump, and then she's like standing there, and I don't know her. She just all of a sudden had this massive baby bump. It was wild.
Yeah, I know.
It was like some kind of
And
so it's
yeah.
like I'm gonna be pregnant in this picture, but not in that one, you know.
And the photos look stretched. Have you noticed? Like, I don't know if you took much notice, but the corners, the Christmas tree looks a bit stretched out, like they've photoshopped it or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That stomach and that sweater just looked really long. The baby bump didn't look right. It just looked like I don't know. It was just wild.
Yeah, no one can convince me that bitch is pregnant. I just can't.
I know, Jackie, I'm telling you right now. I know. I saw Ken is missing his leg in the picture. You're like, what's happening? That's so freaking crazy.
It is the weirdest pregnancy I've ever seen. I get it that some people are very like one of my girlfriends. She literally was 9 months pregnant, and I was like, "Where's the baby?" Because she's so tiny, but like she never tried to push it out. Like Gypsy almost throws her back out to show us that she's pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's you would think that the tinier the person is, the bigger the more they show, because there's a place to put it.
Well, when I was pregnant, people were telling me to move my family out of the way of the TV. I was huge.
That's so funny.
Like, I think you all should be concerned about Toddy one, skip one. Who?
Why? What happened with Toddy? What did I miss? How could they lie to us like they did from the beginning with this troll and she ran? I know, it's wild.
Oh, she's just a joke.
I know.
I think that Christy posted him on her TikTok, and then Ken posted stuff on Instagram, but she probably has charge of his Instagram.
Can I tell you, I don't even have to look anymore because people just send them to me. I love it that you guys do that. I love the fact that you guys are like, oh, Shigo Ivory. And I'm like, oh, I don't even have to search for them. They just come right to me. But I saw the pictures. I was like, oh, my word.
Oh, it was all over Facebook.
Sweater? What's up with that white sweater? Are they all sharing it? Because it's like, I need you all to get a sweater, for real. I think it's so funny.
But when she gives birth, they are not legally married. There is no need for DNA tests needed in the state. Oh. I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know about all that. Because she's pregnant by him, so technically he's the father. It doesn't matter if she's divorced or not. I believe
that's what I thought.
Yeah. I believe that it was the fact that they were married, and you know what I mean? But did you guys see the one picture where she's sitting next to Ken with the dog, with Parker?
Yeah.
Right? She's sitting there, and I don't know how to work this whole StreamYard thing, or I would totally put up that picture, but I don't know how yet. But the picture, she's sitting there, and then she's got no belly. And then in the next one, it's like, bam, here's the belly. It's just wild to me that it does. It comes back and forth as she needs it. It's crazy.
Either that or she's deliberately doing it so that we talk about her. I can't work it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know either.
It's just wild to me. I feel like I'm over this chick. She's starting to piss me off. I'm getting over her. You know what I mean? It's like people can't keep believing this nonsense story. I was so mad before because I'm like, all these victims that are actually victims of some kind of trauma. Like I put on my TikTok a video where, and it was from last year. It was an old video, but where Mama Tot was talking about Gypsy Rose.
Yeah.
And it's like, and she talks about in the video how she relates to Gypsy because of her own traumas. And I'm like, that's the problem though. The problem is that people relate to the trauma and they want somebody to relate to with their trauma, but nobody's understanding that she's in fact not a victim of anything, which is why she never speaks on it, which is why she doesn't advocate, because she can't. She doesn't have the experience.
Yeah, that's it. And even if people are in doubt, like, hello, why isn't she suing the doctors? Like, if she was medically traumatized by all these doctors, why isn't she suing any of them?
Because she can't. She can't.
Yep.
Because I sure did go ahead and go to the website of like Children's Mercy and everybody and put in reviews. I sure did, mentioning Gypsy Rose's name, talking about why would I want to bring my kid here when didn't you guys all perform unnecessary surgeries on a young child? Like, and so I sure did. I sure did leave my reviews.
If anyone should be suing anyone, it should be Mercy Hospital against her for all the shit she rattles off every day. True?
No, yeah, they really should. But I mean, and again, that's why I'm putting up the reviews. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to sit there and you want to call out these facilities, these doctors, every single healthcare worker that works in here, and say that, you know what I mean? Like, they did all these unnecessary procedures. Nobody took care of her. There was no, you know. I was like, that's it. I started writing the reviews. I sure did. And I can tell you that these places will not like that. They will not. These big facilities, they don't like that crap. So, but again, why doesn't somebody address it? The real doctors, the real facilities. Somebody take her medical record and address it. Because I am so absolutely over. Someone mentioned last time that she might have a doctor confirm her abuse on the next season of Life After Lockup. Like, how are you going to do that? How? You know what I mean? What makes us want to believe whatever doctor you pull out of your hat? Like, come on.
I mean, I don't know, but can you? I thought that you couldn't diagnose a deceased woman with Munchausen's.
You cannot diagnose a deceased woman with Munchausen's. You cannot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
So how are they going to do that?
That's just what I heard. I don't know if it, you know what I mean? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So,
like, unless they had some older, but there was some doctor that said that I believe she had it or whatever, but he never confirmed it either.
yeah.
So
You cannot diagnose somebody who is not alive. Not even that proof. I don't know why she took her videos down, Susan. You're talking about all of her videos on YouTube and everything. I have no idea why she took those videos down. I would love to hear a doctor speak out about all of these claims she makes. I would absolutely agree, Rebecca. I would love for a doctor to come out and speak about all of these claims, about all of these surgeries she's had unnecessarily, all of these procedures she stated she had. Like, I don't understand how she's getting away making these accusations. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how you can sit there and accuse an entire healthcare system. Every doctor you're saying that took care of you, and in your entire medical record, you are stating that all of them did some kind of injustice to you. They all medically abused you. They all did these surgeries and these procedures and all of it. And you know what I mean? And there's no proof of it. And we're just going to accuse them and let them get away with it? It's absolutely ridiculous to me. So I don't know.
All over Wikipedia that she's a victim. That shits me.
I don't understand how people can sit there and claim that she is a victim. Meanwhile, where's the proof? Where is the proof of any of this? I am so tired of people sitting there saying, "Oh, Gypsy Rose, she's the victim of Munchausen's." What proof? She's a victim of all this abuse. Her mother physically beat her. What proof? You need to tell me that this woman is the victim of every single freaking thing. Everything from sexual abuse to incest to medical abuse to physically being beaten. She has been a victim of everything, and there's not a single ounce of proof anywhere. Absolutely no way in hell. Come on. There's no way. There's no way.
I'm with you on that. But there's nothing to it just annoys me.
Yeah.
Like, that Wikipedia thing, 5,000 changes have been made to that Wikipedia site. Did you know that?
Oh, I believe it.
Every second day, someone tries to rewrite it the way that it really is, and Wikipedia has to get people to change it.
Oh, jeez. That's crazy. I don't know. I just feel like she wants to show her medical records. She said she doesn't understand where her teeth. I can't with the teeth being removed. She acts like she went into a freaking dentist. Okay. And her mother said, no, trust me, she needs all of her teeth removed because she needs dentures. And a dentist said, okay, Miss Dee Dee, let's rip her teeth out. Like that didn't happen. I don't care what anybody says, that didn't happen. I am on live on YouTube, guys, simultaneously. But yeah, no, I just don't understand how that doesn't happen. It's not a thing. It just doesn't happen. And then you're going to sit there, though, and say you drank a bottle for 23 years of your life, and then I just can't understand why my teeth were ripped out. Well, I can give you a little hint. It's called bottle rot. So there's that.
You know, but I was drinking that bottle for sexual gratification, not because Dee Dee made her.
I agree. I don't believe that Dee Dee made her drink the bottle. I absolutely don't. And you know what I mean? But again, either way, whatever reason she drank this bottle when she was 23, that's probably what caused her teeth problems.
100%.
Sexual gratification, or you know what I mean? Like, well, whatever the reason. You know, you're sitting there drinking this crap, and let's be real. It definitely could have been like the whole role playing thing, the whole cosplay, the whole, yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
Having weird old men in that ruby shed.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says about that shed. Listen to me. You all know what I think about that shed. That was Raunchy Ruby's playhouse. I don't care. There's nobody ever going to convince me otherwise that woman was not in there playing with men. And I'll tell you right now, though, I do believe that David was one of those who may have entered Ruby's playhouse.
Yeah,
I really do believe that she was one of those. He was one of those that, you know, went into that playhouse.
Yeah, he was weirdly. The way he used to talk about it, he used to creep me out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's something. And again, I understand what everyone's saying about when David entered the house and, you know, the lights were off. I don't listen. How you miss a dead body of that size in a bed? I'm sorry. I can't fathom that. I can't fathom it.
The lady was built like Shrek. How'd you miss her? Just sat like, you know.
He was just, and you know, and I'm not sitting there trying to be, you know what I mean, mean towards Dee Dee by any means, but she was a big.
That's what I mean. It's not trying to be mean, but she was built bigger, and you know, how'd you miss her?
Thank you, Mighty Mulatto. Elaborating on any Medicaid fraud would have been useful in her book and potentially gave her something to advocate for. I agree. Absolutely. She can't, let me tell you something. You can't, insurance companies don't pay for nothing. Insurance companies are not trying to pay for anything. They're really not trying to pay for anything. And to sit there and say that you got all of your teeth ripped out for no reason, you had all of these surgeries. What surgeries? You guys saw that picture, right? That I put on my post. The picture of all of these scars that she was writing to Ryan and she put it in her first book.
Oh, yeah.
Able all of the scars and show, you know, all of her, you know what I mean, trauma, what she went through. Meanwhile, there was only 4. And then she had to label something. And so she went and labeled all of her moles. She had more moles, I think, than she did actual scars from these unnecessary procedures she had. Like, for real, what? You had more moles. You had to label the moles just to give your picture some sustenance so you can make yourself look like a victim to Ryan. Makes absolute sense.
So over. Oh, shit.
I posted them on my TikTok. I don't know if I posted them on my YouTube, but I know I posted them on my TikTok. But it's like, and the moles, it's not even like she got them removed and there were scars from like a mole removal. They were just moles. Like you were just pointing out moles.
Yeah.
And so if you take away those moles, she had like 4 or 5, and they were like tiny little, all like you could tell that they were all from the necessary surgeries. You could tell that they were all from the necessary surgeries.
Zoe's been saying that she was bigger because of thyroid issues and that she was very sick when she was killed, and as a mother her heart hurts for Dee Dee. I agree with Zoe.
That as a mother, my heart hurts for Dee Dee. You know what? I was thinking about that, especially now, like with all the, the kids, and I think there's a little bit more emotion around the holidays. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I really feel like you want to do absolutely everything you can for your kids. And so I agree. My heart absolutely does ache for Dee Dee because, I mean, really, she's trying to say that she was murdered because she tried her absolute hardest to make sure she had the things that other people didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just wild to me. It's just so sad. But she really did try for her. I do not believe that Gypsy Rose killed her mother because she needed to get out of abuse. You're never going to convince me of that. I mean, you have to come with some some serious proof, like some serious receipts to get me to believe that. I honestly believe that she was playing out a psychotic sexual fantasy.
100%.
Her ultimate goal was that she wanted Dee Dee dead. She got exactly, no, for real. She got exactly what she wanted. Dee Dee was dead. And then again, she needed to be able to make money. You know what I mean?
I love how you're on this page. I love it. Yep. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, she was definitely into weird stuff with Nick. You know what I mean? Like she absolutely did. She loved all of that role playing, all of the BDSM, all of the, you know what I mean? And again, I think that her role playing with Nick got a little too far, and she ultimately, I think the sex after she murdered Dee Dee, or they murdered Dee Dee, was her ultimate fantasy goal.
100%. And yeah,
got really upset. Jack is on YouTube, guys. Just add a Z to the end of her name, JACQQZ. But I really believe that, like that was really her ultimate fantasy, was to have sex, kill her mother. You know what I mean? And again, she had to make sure she got away with it. So the whole time she planned the murder, she planned it all out. Everything was planned brilliantly. I don't care what anybody says. Everything she did was like right down to it was planned really well. I'm just saying.
well, she's had a lot of people believe her over the years.
Yeah.
And how Rob. Oh, sorry.
She definitely, I don't care if she served 8 years, even if she served 10, 12, she got away with murder. Ultimately, in my opinion, Gypsy Rose got away with murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For what she did, that was no way. Oh, she paid her price. She did her time. I'm so sick of hearing that from people. She didn't do her time. She didn't do near the time she deserved.
She didn't even scratch the surface.
Murder. There's no way.
Oh, look at Amelia. She's still in jail.
Yeah. You guys know how I feel about premeditated murder, though. I believe that anybody who premeditates murder should sit in prison for life.
Yeah, and she still is, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know.
And she can't let her mom rest in peace. She's got to make sure that she keeps digging. She's got to make sure that she keeps going at Dee Dee. And you know what? Christy does it too. Christy came on in there and wanted to throw her 2 cents in there, talking about and acting like, you know what I mean? Like Dee Dee was this, what did she say in the video that I did? An insane, something liar, like an insane compulsive liar. And I'm like, dude, you're talking about yourself. I saw that video and I was just like, there's no way I can let this one go. Because I'm like, you have the audacity to sit there and call Dee Dee an insane compulsive liar. Meanwhile, you concocted this entire lie with Gypsy to make money off of. You killed a woman and then decided that you were all going to, as a family, collectively make money off of this murder. The murder of Rod's ex-wife, the murder of Gypsy's mother, the murder of Dee Dee's friend. I mean, Christy's friend. They were friends. Not that I think Christy, she lacks emotion. I don't think she can be friends with anybody. But again, weren't they friends? They were friends. That's what you do to your friend? Absolutely wild.
And they stood next to that picture, the Mummy, Dad and Dearest picture, all of them, even Mia, like just all smiling. They're all disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Did you guys get the address? Did you guys address the Christmas photos yet? We did. So I don't know why when she's sitting there with Ken, guys, in that picture with the dog, why she looks not pregnant, and then all of a sudden in the next picture they're all standing up like a family, and she's got this, belly popping out of nowhere. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. Maybe the fake baby bump she couldn't sit with. I mean, again, I believe she's pregnant. I don't think that she's not pregnant, but she just wants to look pregnant for attention. And that's why I think she was a baby bump, in my opinion. But I don't understand how we go from not pregnant to bam, she looks like she's ready to drop the kid on the curb. Like, come on.
On a curb?
Real. She looks like, you know what I mean? Like, she goes from being not pregnant, looking thinner than she did before she got pregnant, to wanting to drop the kid on the curb, just from one photo to the next.
I've never seen anybody like literally throw their back out to prove they're pregnant before.
Like she's bending, I mean, her shoulders, like her shoulder blades were actually rubbing on the floor. She was trying to bend so much just to make it look like. I heard Mia's having trouble trying to find a job as a nurse because of Gypsy Rose. So let me address the whole Mia as a nurse thing. Is Mia going to find a job? Yes. Yes. The healthcare, the nurses, we are so short of nurses. She's going to find a job. Without a problem, without a doubt, she's going to find a job, in my opinion. However, do I think she's going to get the dream job that she always wanted in a labor and delivery suite? I don't think so. Do I think people are going to take the fact that she is the sister of somebody who murdered their mother? I would. And I have worked as a director of nursing where I hired and fired and I did the interviews and, ultimately, like, I would interview people for jobs. And if somebody like Mia or, take anybody like Melissa Moore, for instance, like anybody, you came into my job asking me for a job as a nurse. Now, as good as your resume may be, as good as your, college transcripts say you've done, I'm always going to sit there and think, number one, you're a liability just because of the publicity your sister's going through at the moment. Okay, and that's me thinking as a director of nursing who's going to hire somebody. I believe that the publicity of your sister can be a liability for my company. I believe, you know what I mean? And it's really ultimately that. Do I think Mia would ever hurt a patient or that she has any of that in her? No. But I think that your sister being so high profile, such a high publicity, she's got a lot going on, especially on social media. I would judge you for that when it came down to, hiring people. I would probably put you at the back of my list because of that.
And you would probably do that even if you were Team Gypsy, because of the publicity, and you have to do your job.
Right. Even if I was Team Gypsy, either way, anybody who's got, that's a murder case. I would do it for the Menendez. If there was a family member of the Menendez brothers, anybody, any high profile, you are a liability automatically, in my eyes. And again, I can assure you that these healthcare systems nowadays don't need any of that nonsense. None of it. So I really would take that into account just because of, I got to think about the facility and the business first.
Like Anastasia said, guilty by association.
Yeah. And again, I don't think Mia would ever hurt a patient, ever. But it's not about that. It's also about the credibility of the company that you're working for and that you're hiring for. And you know what I mean? And then you got to think about the comfortability of the people you're working with. You know what I mean? Would I feel comfortable working with the convicted murderer's sister. I don't know. Then you got families that, she's just so well. Mia herself is known. Mia herself has some kind of notoriety in all of this. People know who Mia Blanchard is. And that right there, even family members of patients or patients themselves can be like, I don't know about all this. So that's just my opinion. But I would absolutely judge. In that position, I would have to judge. You know what I mean? I got to judge people on a lot of things when I hire them in a position like that. Like, you can't play with nursing, but you also can't play with the credibility of a healthcare system. And you got big bosses up over your head, breathing down your head. Like, what is this going to bring me? And you know what I mean? It's your job to judge. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So I would take that into a big account and probably put her at the back. I would have to be extremely desperate for nurses. And that's why I'm telling you she'll get a job, though, is because there are a lot of facilities out there that are absolutely that desperate that they need nurses. It doesn't matter. I mean, Gypsy herself, they might even pass it at this point. We are so short on nurses, man, that, you know what I mean? To some people, it's probably going to be a facility or a healthcare system that doesn't have, you know what I mean, the greatest reviews, in a nursing home, like not even a good one. That's what kind of job.
Me think that like Christy and Rob have put Mia in this position, not just Gypsy. Like, they made Gypsy famous, even more famous, while she was in prison doing all the interviews, doing all the mummy, dad, and whatever they did, and they still continued to do it until she got out. And then, Gypsy starts doing her Lifetime shit. They're all on the show. They get Mia to go on the show, and it's just like, you guys did this to that kid.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, Shmi's also an adult, and she kind of did it to herself.
Yeah.
She decided to pose for the pictures. She decided to go on these interviews. She was an adult at the time. And so you can't really put all the blame, if you're going to be completely honest, though, you can't really put all the blame on Gypsy, Rod, and Christy, because Mia is completely, an adult, and she could make her own choices, and she made those decisions herself.
She is an adult. She did choose this, but I just think that what a shit parent Christy and Rod are for even, encouraging it.
Rod and Christy being parents. I do not believe they are bad parents to Mia and Dylan. Or at least Christy cares about her kids, Mia and Dylan. I really believe, if I'm going to sit there and be completely honest and judge this, she did well by her kids. Now, those are her kids. Those are her actual blood. Those were children that were born from her womb, okay? Do I think she has that same love and care that she has for Mia and Dylan for Gypsy? No. And she can't. Doesn't have that emotional attachment to her. She does not love her in the same way she loves her actual children. So what she's doing to Gypsy, well, they're not her kids, so it doesn't really matter to Christy, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's why she treats Gypsy differently than Mia and Dylan, because Gypsy's not hers. And so it's like, whatever, dude, let's make some money from this. You know what I mean? She doesn't care. You think Christy cares if anything happened to Gypsy? As long as there's a story that could be made money, there's nobody. In fact, Christy's probably rooting for the girl to go back, because what a story that would be. Then Christy can go write her own book, and you know what I mean? It would give Christy a story. And I wouldn't put it past her, because that's the kind of person Christy shows she is. Christy only cares about the money. Christy doesn't actually care about Gypsy, because if Christy actually gave a crap about Gypsy, she would have been there the entire time. There are a lot of step parents in here, and a lot of step parents that were step parents from the time those children were younger. And let's be real, if you knew something was going on, or your husband or your spouse's kid went missing, as just a parent yourself, as just a responsible adult, you would be like, let's go find the kid. But all Christy's worried about is her little family. She's worried about her husband. She's worried about her 2 kids. That's it, period, point blank. She doesn't care about anybody or anything else. And that's why she never went looking for Gypsy. That's why she couldn't give a crap. It was all smile and nods. Yeah. We see it. Oh, nice. We're going to say hi on Facebook. Like, they never cared. There was no, oh, during the hurricane, we went to go look for her. We searched everywhere. Like, you weren't searching for her. That interview drives me absolutely mad when she says that. There was nobody searching for Gypsy like she was gone. That's a bunch of crap, and everybody damn well knows it. Christy is emotionally attached to the money. Yes. Yes. Because isn't it true that didn't Gypsy pay for her to have new floors and have their house done? Didn't they just get their house redone on Gypsy's back? Right? Absolutely, the whole family is there for the show. That's the only time anybody gave a crap about Gypsy is when she had a profitable story. That's it. That's the only time. Right. For the Lifetime filming, for the documentaries, for the interviews, for all of it, the Dr. Phil's and the magazines and the this, the that. That is the only time they gave a crap about her, because I'm surprised none of these interviewers, none of these journalists, nobody asked, well, where were you for the first 23 years of her life? Since you loved her so much? Why has nobody asked that question? Let me tell you something. I could not be a journalist. I could not be, you know what I mean? I could not be a journalist. I could not have a talk show, because let me tell you something. If I had a talk show, oh, geez, I'd be kicked off, and they'd knock me right off the network in minutes. Because my first question would be like, well, where were you? I'd be asking the questions nobody wants to answer. Don't give me pre-written questions. I'm going to tell you what we're all thinking, because I know everybody's thinking what Ivy Rose here is thinking. And Ivy Rose wants to know, where the hell were you for the first 23 years of her life? Where were you for 23 years? Oh, Dee Dee tried to keep me from her. I would call and she would tell me that she's busy and she would control the phone calls. What? You would call? Why were you not with your daughter? Why did you not have your daughter? Why did you not have visits with your daughter? Why did you not have sleepovers and have custody of your child? Why? Not because you couldn't, but because you didn't want it. Because you see, if you wanted it, any court would have given you that. I'm just saying. You guys know it. You know that any court, they have, you know what I mean? Rod he's got a job, he's got a family, any court would have given him custody, shared custody of Gypsy if he wanted it. But you see, the problem is he didn't want it. How do we know he didn't want it? Well, he didn't even want his other daughter. He gave up rights to his other daughter because Jill was married. Jill was with somebody who wanted Nicolette. But you see, the problem with Dee Dee was Dee Dee didn't have anybody. Dee Dee didn't have a spouse or a boyfriend, or, you know what I mean? So it was just Dee Dee. Because I think that if Dee Dee was in a relationship or Dee Dee was married, Rod would have handed over custody of her too. All parental rights. Rod would have handed over parental rights of her as well. So don't tell me you couldn't have a relationship with your kid. You absolutely could have. And in my opinion, we all know that I believe he did have a relationship with her. I believe she would go to Rod's house. I believed Rod and Christy were both around when Gypsy was growing up. Why? Well, we see the pictures. We see the pictures of her at different ages with the kids, with Dylan and with Mia and with Rod and with Christy too. We see the pictures. Those pictures are not just pictures you see of somebody once every 5 years. Okay. So that's a bunch of bullcrap. I really do believe that he was around, and I don't think that he wanted to be, but I think that he was around because Dee Dee wanted him to be around, made it a point to tell him, like, bull crap, you need to be there for your kid, because, you know what I mean? And I think that Rod is only saying that he wasn't around because if he told people like Dr. Phil and all these other interviewers and documentarian people that he was around, the first question they all would have asked is, well, why didn't you do something? If your daughter was being abused, why didn't you help her? How did you not know? So I believe that they run with the story that they weren't around because they can explain that one. They can't explain the side that says, well, if they really did have a relationship, how did you let this happen? Because then he would be just as responsible as Dee Dee, if not more, for allowing this so-called abuse to happen. So I believe that is why Rod and Christy say that they weren't involved, because I absolutely believe that they were involved. And so
it keeps kicking me out of the studio. I don't know what's going on.
But I do. I believe that they really were around. So, and again, in interviews, guys, there was this one, and I'll do another video on it, and I'll post it to YouTube as well, where Mia was talking about when she was 5 years old, and she was at Rod and Christy and Mia's house visiting for a visit. That means that Gypsy was 15 years old. There was a 10-year age gap between Gypsy and Mia. 10 solid years. That's a long time, first of all. But if she was 5 and she remembers Gypsy coming over for visits, that puts Gypsy at 15. You mean to tell me at 15 years old, Gypsy was being beat? There was you didn't see any signs of it. Gypsy was at your house. You mean to tell me you didn't know she couldn't walk? Were Christy and Rod changing her diapers? I mean, they were visiting. There were visits. Mia says there's visits. So at 15 years old, you mean to tell me that she went for a visit alone, which she did, to Rod and Christy's house? She could have asked her father for help, right? At 15, she could have said, hey, Dad, this is what my mom's doing to me. Her whole story is that she couldn't call her dad for help because her mother wouldn't allow her access to her dad. But you see, in the interviews, and again, this goes back to them we're catching them in the lies. They're contradicting themselves, because if you go back to the interviews, Mia says, when I was 5, she came over and visited, and that they were having visits. That puts Gypsy at 15 years old. That puts Gypsy at 15 years old. You mean to tell me that you, number one, Rod, you didn't know that your daughter didn't know how old she was? Like, really? Not even that, but that means that absolutely, I completely agree. They all knew about the scam. That means Rod and Christy knew. That means that Gypsy had an outlet. If she was visiting Rod and Christy at 15 years old, she could have said, hey, Dad, this is what's going on at home. Hey, Dad, I can actually walk. Hey, Dad, I don't need the feeding tube. I can eat. Hey, Dad, I mean, for real. So, Rod, did you put food down her feeding tube? I mean, what were those conversations like? Were you changing her diaper? Like, nobody had a conversation with Gypsy. Gypsy was in their house, sleeping over and having these visits all by herself. So what is Gypsy Rose's excuse when she says, I didn't have access to tell anybody? Oh, because you mean to tell me your dad wouldn't have believed you? Nobody was going to believe you, so that's why you didn't tell your dad? You didn't tell your dad because your dad wouldn't have believed you? So now all of a sudden your dad believes you? Now we're on like, my dad believes everything I say, but if you would have told him you would be abused beforehand, that he wouldn't have believed. But now he believes that you took baths with your grandpappy? Like, for real? Mm-mm. Nope. They contradict themselves, and it's not just Gypsy. It is Rod. It is Christy. It is Mia. Because again, Mia was the one that made that statement. Here you are talking about, I could never have a relationship with my sister. I never had a sister-sister relationship because she wasn't allowed to visit, and she wasn't allowed to do this, and we never saw them. But then in the same breath, in the interview, you're going to talk about, well, she used to come over and when she would visit, and, when I was 5 and when I was 7. And so she's visiting and having sleepovers and visits at your house alone. But then you never were able to have a relationship with your sister because you never saw her. Somebody tell me how that works. How does that happen? How does that work? It's just crazy to me. Mia forgot the script. Absolutely. Mia forgot the script. That's exactly what the problem was. They're all sitting there and they got this little story, but they don't know how to handle the difficult questions. And so everyone is telling a different version of the same story that they all made up. Too many versions, and all these versions are given to us by the Blanchard family. All of them. So I would, and that's why, that's probably why Ryan and Ken, it's like, don't watch the documentary, don't watch, because let me tell you something. If I was in a relationship with somebody like Gypsy Rose, like the male version of Gypsy Rose, right? I'm watching every damn documentary. I'm watching the Becca Scoops. I'm watching the Ninas. I'm watching the TikToks. I'm watching the YouTubes. I'm watching the Instagrams. I want to know it all. I'm watching every movie, every interview, Dr. Phil, Freaky and Barbara Walters, all of them. I'm doing it all. I want to know who I'm getting into bed with. I want to know who I'm getting into bed with. You mean to tell me that these two idiots, not a single one asked a question, watched an interview, watched a movie, like none of it? Nobody's asking any questions? Like it's just, okay. Now, come on. They know too. I absolutely believe in my heart of hearts that both Ryan and Ken know something's going on with that family. And I believe that's why Ryan is really careful right now. And that's why Ryan was such a threat to Gypsy during this whole divorce, because Ryan has a lot to spill. I'm sure, in my opinion, that Ryan has a lot more information than Gypsy is comfortable with.
I agree with you.
So I don't know. Ivory ever interact with chat? Cherokee girl, I do. I'm working with 2 chats right now, but yes, I do. I dropped the link. If you guys want to come up, you're more than welcome to come up. Same thing here, guys. You guys can come up too. Thank you, Anna Cat. Thank you. And she dogged him so bad. She treated him like absolute crap. But then you also got to wonder if, is there an NDA? How much is Ryan allowed to speak? You know what I mean? I think that this is just as much Ryan's story as it is Gypsy. And yet Ryan hasn't spoken a word. I'm not going to lie. If I was going through a divorce and I knew this family, I'd be spilling the beans. I'd be spilling every freaking bean. I'd be scraping the crap out of listen, they'd all be out. I'm sure he's taking the divorce hard, but isn't that more of a reason to talk? Because I would let it out, guys. I'm not even playing. Gypsy also sent pics to her young cousin. She sent them on Facebook. She really did. She sent them to her dad.
Gypsy that was creepy.
I mean, they were dirty pictures, but I mean, shocker. It's Gypsy Rose. I'm telling you, that's her stripper name. She should be a stripper. OnlyFans. Like they knew that was what Gypsy was going to end up being, because I mean, the name itself like rings a bell. But she was sending Facebook messages to her dad and Christy. She was sending pictures to her sister and her mom, or Christy and her dad on Facebook. There was absolutely a relationship happening. But God forbid they tell that side of the story. They can't. Because if Rod and Christy tell them that they actually had communication with Gypsy, that's when all the difficult questions would happen that they can't answer. That's where, once people start asking those questions, responsibility is going to be put on Rod. And Rod is trying
Imagine that you can send a photo to your cousin and your dad of your kitty, but you can't tell him that your mum's medically abusing you. Okay, Gypsy, we believe you.
That's what I'm saying. You can send dirty pics to your daddy on Facebook, but you couldn't sit there in his home alone visiting with the family, tell him any of this so-called abuse that was going on. Come on. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Dirty. She sent dirty pictures on Facebook to them. Yes. Like Ruby pictures. Ruby.
Cherokee said she blamed it on the neighbor girl.
And then blamed it again. And then they blamed it on the Aaliyah girl next door. Yeah. Wild. Absolutely wild. You can send them pics, but you couldn't send them a SOS. I'm just saying. No, on purpose, Mandy. She did it on purpose. Why? Because she's a freak, man. I don't even know what else to call her. Like, she's got some sexual fetish. She's got some wild sexual Who does that? Gypsy Rose does that. That's who does
Mm.
that. I still don't understand. So let me tell you something. Let me ask you this. Her book is written, right? She's promoted her book already. She's got to be done filming for the new season soon, right? So then what's her job going to be? Because you're not working while the season airs. Lifetime, we know, is not going to pick them back up again. So what's her job going to be? She's not an influencer anymore. So what is Gypsy's job going to be now? Like, you can call yourself an author, that's all well and good, but that's not an active job. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you already authored, past tense. So that's not an active job. So what will her active job be? She can, I mean, how long is she going to be on maternity leave? What do you get? 6 weeks? 6 weeks? What are you going to do 6 weeks after that baby's born? I mean, the clock is ticking. You got what? Less than a month now before that baby's supposed to be born, according to Gypsy, right? Then you got 6 weeks from that. So come April, what is your job going to be? What is Gypsy's job going to be?
Oh, an author.
She's already filmed. She's not an influencer anymore. So what the hell is she going to do for a living? And you get 6 months maternity leave. Don't tell me you got to stay home and take care of a baby, because so does everybody else in the world. And if they're going to give you a free pass, the rest of us want a free pass too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's like,
I've done abattoirs and, nearly broke my knee concreting to give extra money to that kid. She can do different jobs.
what I'm just curious as to what is she going to do? There's nothing left she can claim. I mean, there's nothing left she can claim. I mean, she's going to actively write another book, which I wouldn't put past her. I'm just saying. Not that there can be any more stories left, but we still got sex trafficking and alien abduction. So there's always that. But what is her, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, what is her job going to be? Like, I'm really curious. Like,
yeah, well, she could go work at Macca's or something. Like, there's so many jobs out there, McDonald's or whatever you call it.
she is not a millionaire. She does not make the money you guys think she makes. She is no more a millionaire than I'm a millionaire. Her net worth is $3 million, I think.
But does the net worth count the assets and shit, or
That's
what they think?
Right. That's including all. Yes, that's including everything. It's her net worth. That's what she's ultimately worth altogether. But again, the average person is worth a couple $1 million. I'm just saying, if you own homes and you have cars and you have investment properties and you have, you know what I mean, like stocks and IRAs and all of this stuff, like you're the average person, even though they may not have it in the bank, may very well be a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a millionaire technically, but I can assure you I ain't got that crap in the bank. But when you talk about homes and, stocks and like all your assets together, technically. So that's
I can't even get a paper clip on credit.
She doesn't really have that in the bank. She just, that's her net. That's what she's worth altogether in life. So, well, guys got to remember how many movies, documentaries, interviews, every time she spoke to somebody, every time paid appearances, she's gotten paid for all of that. So, it's really not, she's not making that much money. She's not making as much money as you think. Her whole, the Red Banyan, like that came and left because she's got no money left, I'm sure.
Can she
no car or no home? Yes, but she does have. I'm sure she got trust somewhere because of the money that was made. You're talking money from the book, money from the movies, money from all of the appearances, all of it. She was on social media making a good dime for quite some time. So all of that adds up. Why did Lifetime drop her? I have no idea, but I could tell you if I was Lifetime, why I would drop her. But do I really need to go there? I mean, look at her. She's getting a lot of hate from people. There's a lot of people aren't watching her just because it's her. Her show sucked. So money hidden in family accounts and all kinds of trusts. Yeah. I mean, why do you think that lawyer, let's talk about Stanfield for a second. I'm just saying, whose lawyer goes to the bank with them?
Is that why she's doing Gypsy Rose Media or whatever?
Probably. She's probably, you know what I mean? There's probably a 2-member thing, and it may be Mike Stanfield and her that own whatever business. She would need his okay to take some money out, but then it would make it look like it was him as well. Possibly. I don't know that to be fact. I'm just going off of what I would do. That's what I'm hearing, Kaz. I don't know if she actually got dropped from Lifetime. I'm just hearing it. I don't think they're picking her up for another season after this season. And although, hey, Recliner.
Ali just said, yeah, but she doesn't own property at all. So where is the money stored and how legal is that? And
so
how available?
Trusts, and that's legal.
No, and then she said, how available could it be to Dee Dee's family? They need to go for every cent of it.
Anything she owns is what she owns. Anything she owns is what she owns. But again, you know what I mean? Like, you can still, just because someone doesn't have it doesn't mean that their earning potential in the future, you can also take from that. So if you're suing somebody civilly, you're not only taking from the money, because not everybody may have it now, but you could take from their potential future earnings. And they would just have to give it to her. Makes it, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you sued me civilly for something, right, for $10 million, but I'm not worth $10 million, every amount of money I come into in the future can be taken from me and given to you. Absolutely. Because
what?
Yeah. Until my debt is paid to you. That's a debt. Being sued civilly is a debt.
Oh.
Yeah. Did I watch the Barely Famous podcast? Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, I did, unfortunately. It's like a lien, Sarah. Yeah, it's like a lien. You know what I mean? You can put it against their potential earnings. So anything she earns in the future. Thank you, positively. The micro deletion explains why she looked the way she did as a child. Yes, that's exactly why she looked the way she did as a child. Her eyes being the deep closed setting in her eyes, and yes, the small head, the possum-like face. And again, I'm not saying that to make fun of her, even though it's funny. But that's how they explain it, as looking like a possum. And even her family thinks she looks like a possum.
Possum-like face.
Her whole family called her possum. Can you file a bankruptcy on a she could do OnlyFans for the sickos? She has earning potential, Halo. She absolutely has earning potential, guys. She can make some money. We all know that Raunchy Ruby's Playhouse can open back up. So she's definitely got potential earning. She knows what she's doing. If you can convince a man to kill your mother by playing around online, she has potential earnings. I mean, money that can be potentially made. HBO, she calls her trust. I'm not sure she call HBO her trust. Cornhub, yeah, possibly. What did Ryan get from the divorce? I'm not sure what Ryan got from the divorce. I know that neither one of them got alimony or spousal support or anything like that. I don't know what happened financially. I don't think they're finished dealing with the financial aspect of it yet, are they? I think Ken will take the baby if that happens. I don't think Ken has an option. Ken would have to, he's as the parent, maybe, if he is. I seen she was with Ryan a few days ago. So that's what I heard. I'm not sure though about that, guys. I can't. Do you think she was with Ryan this past week? Guys, do I put anything past Gypsy Rose? Absolutely. I think it's possible. You guys know that I think that her and Ken are just, this relationship is all kinds of screwed up.
I don't think she can be alone.
So I think, I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Is it possible somebody else had the same bet as her? That's also possible. Do I think, honestly, I don't think. Unless maybe now that there's an actual divorce, maybe she was willing to talk to Ryan. I think that's possible because you remember she never spoke to him face to face again. And he always wanted closure. So I think maybe now that the divorce was like final, that maybe now she chose to speak with him face to face. That's possible too. Honestly, I have no idea though. I put nothing past the chick. I really don't. You watch the act.
Imagine being that embarrassing that people actually believe it because she's such a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Manipulation tactic. Absolutely.
It's like how you don't believe she's pregnant, but also you can see why people believe that she isn't. Do you know what I mean? You can see why, because she's such a liar.
There's nothing this girl can say that would make me believe her because of all of the lies that she's had in the past. You know what I mean? Like that's why at first I really did not believe she was pregnant at first. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. I did at first. I believed that this was going to be like that whole trust me, I had cancer. I was, you know what I mean, like the whole lie thing she was putting out there. And then she started looking pregnant, and I was like, all right, well, you can't, I believe she was pregnant, so I still believe she's pregnant. But I can understand why people question it because look, she lied about look at her book. Look about everything she lied about in her life. We know she's a liar. She admits to being a liar. She told us all that she does nothing but lie, that she doesn't tell the truth. She's a great liar. She's a manipulator. She's told us that. We heard that straight from Gypsy Rose. You can't believe her because she is a liar. So why does people sit there and put it past her that she would do all this? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, do I think she would lie about a pregnancy? Yeah, she wouldn't be the first woman.
Well, didn't she lie about a pregnancy to Nick?
Well, yeah, but she did. So again, it wouldn't be, like you said, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah.
There's currently a microscope up Mike Stanfield's ass by the Fed. Good. I hope so. I think Mike Stanfield has got something going on and he needs to be looked into. There's no way that relationship that he has with that family is any kind of it should be, it's just not professional. Oh, he's
that
laughing.
book was absolutely gross.
It's definitely not ethical. Absolutely not. I don't believe it's ethical.
The fact that she wanted to later on in life read that book to her kid, like, why would you want to let your kid know that you got fingered for biscuits and gravy and you're pulling your nappy down and shit? Like, why would you want your daughter to know that?
I don't know. I don't know. What's the name of her book? My Time to Stand is the name of her newest book. Released is the name of her previous book. Jackie is on YouTube because I'm streaming on both YouTube and TikTok.
Her Time to Stand was a long time ago.
Freaking back when she was young, when she was a young kid, was her time to stand. When she was going to Ron and Christy's house for sleepovers, when she was at the doctor's, that's when her time to stand was. When she was singing on stage, collecting the money. That's what her time to stand is. Not now. Now is your time to sit down and shut the hell up. That's what time it is now. Just saying. What would you have done differently tonight? You look. Oh, what have I done differently tonight? I'm absolutely exhausted. I've done nothing differently. I'm just tired.
Yeah, because I can't see you, but because I'm on StreamYard.
Oh yes, no. Somebody on TikTok was like, "Oh, you look different." I brought my hair straightened down. Gypsy can release a scandalous to the Gex tape like Kim K. You know, if she could, she would. She'd be the first Christy. What you think Kris Jenner's bad? You wait for Christy the momager to come out. She'll have Gypsy looking like a damn fool, in my opinion. In my opinion. I'm just saying, there's that. I would love though, I really want to hear from Dee Dee's family. I feel like I'm so sick of Gypsy Rose. Like I'm saying it. I am so sick of this chick. This chick is, I'm just sick of her nonsense, sick of her stories. I'm sick of her videos. I'm sick of her show. I'm sick of all the crap she's putting out there, making money on. I am so sick and tired of Gypsy Rose. It's not even funny. And I feel like so much emphasis is put on Gypsy, but nothing's put on Nick. And again, I'm going to be completely honest, and I have been from the beginning. I believe that Nick should be in prison for life, but I also believe Gypsy should be in prison for life. They both premeditated that murder, and I stand solid on my belief that premeditated murder equals life in prison, period, point blank. But why I do argue for Nick is he did not get a fair day in court, and we are all, we are all deserving of a fair day in court, and he didn't get that. He definitely is cognitively challenged, and he is vulnerable due to his autism and his low IQ, and he definitely should have had some kind of representation with him. I believe that interrogation, that the whole thing was led, and I don't believe that was fair. And his trial was unfair. All of it was unfair to him, which is why I argue for Nick, which is why I sit here and I say that it wasn't fair to Nick, is because that whole thing wasn't fair.
Plus, she only did 8 years and he's got life.
Plus, 8 years is nothing. I mean, she did, no one's going to tell her she did her time. She did no time. No time. Nope. Not in my opinion, she didn't. And it definitely wasn't. They offered him a plea deal and he turned it down. They offered a plea deal of 30, what was it, 30 or 40? I think it was 30 years. When this chick is getting out in 8, why would I take 30 years when I wouldn't have murdered anybody if she didn't tell me to? She didn't ask me to. She didn't plan it all out. I wouldn't have done it. So she's the one ultimately responsible, not me. So why should I have to sit here for 30 and she can cry like a bee and get out in 8? Because you guys got to remember too, Nick didn't come from some great, perfect family. Nick came from a broken home. Nick's mother, Stephanie's fiance, boyfriend, husband, whoever that, what's his face was a convicted, he had legal issues. Okay, he was a criminal. They came from, his mother was a drug addict. His father lives far away. I don't know what his and Bobby's relationship didn't seem like it was too great. He also was raised with problems. He also had abandonment issues, or felt like he didn't get loved by his mother. He felt like he was out there looking for love because of all the stuff that happened to him in his life. He was also a victim of life. She wants to sit there and act like he did not have some picture perfect life. And if you're going to take her life into consideration, then you should have taken his as well. And they gave all the consideration to her, none to him.
I hated that interview where she's like, he did the actual kill. It's like, bitch, I believed you helped. Like, shut up.
Yeah. And Gypsy was abused all her young life. Not in my opinion, she wasn't. So,
No,
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't think so either.
Nope.
And like you've said time and time again, he wouldn't have done it if she didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. She would have gotten more time, ironically, if she didn't off her mom. Absolutely, isn't that crazy? I absolutely agree. If she didn't kill her mother, she probably would have gotten more time. Isn't it funny how I'm sure all the trips to Disney were real painful. That's what I'm saying. How many times did Nick go to Disney?
We went to Queensland, which is like one side of Australia to the other, in a van as kids. And she's gone to Disney how many times?
Jackie is in the background, guys. I'm streaming on both YouTube and here on TikTok. So, but yeah, I think I still, hold on, the chats are going a little bit fast for me. Becca's next videos, Becca never dropped her, I feel Becca hasn't dropped her video. I feel like Becca let me down. Sandy didn't come for Christmas. I was waiting.
I know, I was so excited.
I know, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. And I'm sitting there, and I'm not going to lie, I really thought she was going to give it to me as a Christmas present. Do you have any views about her accusing her mom's dad of essaying her? I believe it's a lie. I believe Claude when he says that Gypsy rose him when she was younger. I believe him.
Sorry.
I believe because of the hypersexuality that she's shown, I believe that she was the one and actually making advances to him. I don't believe that he SA'd her. I don't at all. And that's my opinion. You can take it or leave it. You can agree and that's okay, or disagree and that's okay. But I don't believe it. I definitely think
I
it's
agree, Christine. I think because she wanted to use a knife, she's like, she's got the potential to do it again. She definitely has the potential to get rid of someone else, I reckon.
yeah. I mean, we know that she's got no heart. It's not like she's gonna all of a sudden grow a conscience overnight. No, she definitely has
Yeah. Imagine at 24 years old telling somebody that a knife would be a less humane option. Like at 24, I knew that if I jab someone, that they're going to be in a lot more pain than a single boof to the head. Do you know what I mean? Like the way that she chose it, it was up close, personal.
Well, you heard Becca Scoops that day in the live. Women don't usually. We're poisoners. You know what I mean. We're not really that kind of. If we're gonna off somebody, we're not gonna off them in that. We're not gonna jab them with a a fish gutting knife. What kind of knife was it? It was like one of those.
Yeah, it wasn't even just a regular kitchen knife. It was a I'm a gut you knife. Like
Yeah, it was like I'm really gonna pull your entrails out this hole. Real.
yeah. I reckon she did that
Fillet
neck
knife.
thing.
I don't know why that doesn't stick in my head, but I've never filleted a fish in my entire life. So there's that. But yeah, it's a fillet knife.
I don't think that Nick did the neck. I think Gypsy did.
You guys know how I feel about that. You guys know I never ever believed that Gypsy was in there. I always believed that Gypsy was in that bathroom when Nick was doing the stabbings. I now have changed my mind, and I firmly, honestly believe that she was the one who did that neck mark because she heard her mother gurgling. She thought that Dee Dee was gone. She wasn't in fact gone. She was still breathing. I believe she was gurgling, and I believe that she went in and finished her off with that neck. So, yep, I absolutely believe she did the neck. And I believe that she told us in her book that it was her. And that's why she made such a big deal about her neck being so vulnerable and her neck being so important and making such a big deal about the neck. Because, again, you got to remember, murderers always play around. They're always going to play mind games with you. They're always going to try to outsmart you. They're always going to try to give you a little bit and see if anybody picks it up. Well, I picked it up. The fact that she focused so much on that neck of hers, and this is the reason why she did it, was because Dee Dee was trying to take mine. I firmly believe that was her way of saying that, yes, I did my mother's neck.
Yeah, well, not to sound morbid or anything, but like that voice could have, taking her voice wouldn't have been the worst thing in my opinion. Oh, her voice annoys me.
Oh, I know. Speaking of morbid, Morbid's on right now, right? Hey guys, is Morbid on right now?
I don't know.
I don't know. He is. Oh, I need to. I haven't seen Morbid in a couple of days. I feel like I've gone through some kind of
Withdrawals?
withdrawals from Morbid, man. I got to see what the juice is about. So you guys hold on. So guys, I'm going to end this live right here, and then we will be back tomorrow. Jack, you coming back to YouTube tomorrow to do a live with me?
100%.
All right, guys. So I am going to end this now. I'm going to head over to Morbid and see what is going on over there and catch up and see what I have missed. But I will see you guys all tomorrow. I appreciate you all for the chat. I appreciate you all for being here. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night, guys.
Good night.